Hello, everybody, and welcome to Noobs R Us GT3 Rookie Series Season 7. This is the finale at Nürburgring. I am your host, Jeremy Cubbage. We will be doing a 20-minute qualifying. It'll be 10 minutes per split. Pros and Pro-Ams are out now, currently starting their out laps. And then the AMs will go out in the last 10 minutes. Then a 90-minute race, one required pit stop, 25-second minimum for fuel. Let's see what we got going on. I'm sorry here. Let me get some music up for you guys. How's everybody doing tonight? Plug it. Hello, let's go. Music's going to start up. And yeah, so we've got our pros and pro-ams out. Looks like the leader out right now is Nick Kanya leading the pack. He comes over the hill now, up through turn 10 into turn 11. I will be saying the wrong turns compared to what we have on our sheet in the Discord. So I believe turn 5 on the track map you see on that second straight, that doesn't exist in what we have. So let's go, Wes Jones. Chase in chat. Hello, Chase. Speaking of Chase, we could show some representation. Representation. I don't know the word. What's the word? Let's go into track information. Here we go. Today's track is not Zandvoort. Let me change that, everybody. See, this is what we get for trying to watch me do things. We get that changed. We're on the Nürb GP. There we go. The Nürb GP, and there's a loud car. We need to stop that. Nürburgring GP in Nürburgring, Germany. 5.137 kilometers or 3.192 miles. 15 turns. It's going to show 16 on our track map in stream. Elevation change, I couldn't find anything on this, so I'm going to say it was roughly 45 meters or about 150 feet. It could be more than that, but it does dip down really low down into turn 8 right before the Schumacher S up the hill. That's the lowest point on the track. Then it gets the highest point is that front straight. Let's see here. Last AM winner is somebody named Duke Silver from a couple seasons ago. Not part of our series anymore, unless they change their name, with a 156.645 fastest during the race. Current NRU lap record is Chase Jones in the Vantage, a 152.927. Like I said, we got all of those turns. We do have that pit entry you can see on the right side where it sweeps in early right after the chicane. So you're going to see that kind of thing tonight. People do need to take pit stops. They need to do all of that. It's going to be wild. With that said, let's get back. As drivers have started their hot laps. Looks like Kanya has once again just coming through turn 11, turn 10, whatever we want to call that. Hoot, broom, broom. Yes, sir. Nick Kanya. Going to be the first one to complete a lap for qualifying. They've only got 10 minutes to qualify for a 90-minute race. After they start their first laps, I do have to run an advertisement because I didn't have enough time to run it initially. So we're going to run that after they complete their first couple of laps here. Kanya hitting cones on the way through that back straight. Crossing the start-finish line now. Puts down a 154.415. Definitely has some time to improve. A couple extra laps to do so. It's not going to be a lot. Will Figgins right behind him. 155.125, and then Tony Danzig with a nice slow 156.892. We know Tony has the pace to keep up, so we'll see if he can make an improvement. You got a pre-roll? You did? How did you get a pre-roll? Oh, it's because I didn't run an ad to begin with, I think. I'm going to go ahead and run this, just get it out of the way, and that way we're not interrupted for the next 30 minutes. That's going to start up. We're going to watch these guys continue to put down times as we go through this. Lots of drivers on track tonight. 42 drivers currently. A lot of pros, pro-ams. We're going to have a lot more next season. I think the pro-ams and pros splits are going to increase in size fairly drastically. So we'll have to see what happens there. A lot of improving times. Ramos up 7/10 on their time just through the first couple of turns. Definitely has the room to improve. So, are you seeing the ad now, Mr. Tonkin? 1 minute left on the ad, so we'll see if he sees it or not. It's been running. Higgins on a slow time as he comes through the final turn. You're here, okay. So you're not seeing the ad that's in progress. How weird. How weird is that? 30 seconds left. I'm improving times, absolutely quick times. Anya still 53.972, so he's made a good improvement on his time. Still has room to improve. A whole second up. Who was that? Dwyer is a whole second up. Coming through the final corner now. A little bit wide into the entry. He's going to lose time. Losing quite a bit. Still going to make an improvement, though. Moving him from 9th up into 7th. Let's get this stuff on screen for you guys so you can see what's going on here. There we go. These drivers have about 2 more laps total for qualifying. Yeah, it has concluded. Shane Dodger up a half second on their time. Current time 56.4. Just in the first sector, he's up a half a second. Casey Swanseger as well, as he's about to conclude his first sector. Up 0.8. So he's done a 56.5. He could move up 4 or 5 positions if he holds this time. Going up the hill now through Schumacher S. A whole second up on his time now. This is going to be an awesome improvement as long as he continues to improve. He still has another lap after this, so we'll see how he does. I don't know why what is this Spanish guitar jam we're listening to? Still a whole second up on his time. Casey about to go into the chicane now. There we go. Turn 1 and 2 into the chicane. Into the final corner. Trying to hold that time a whole second up. Going to move him up into 10th maybe? Maybe 11th? We'll see what happens. Up into 11th for Casey Swanseger. Has 1 more lap. Wes Jones. Into the chicane. 0.7 up on his time nearly. Losing a little bit of time on the way in. Gaining it on the way out. And into the final corner. A lot of time gained there. Up 0.8. 56.3. This is going to move him up from 14th. Only into 13th. He must have lost some time that I missed right there on that last corner. But he did gain a position, so that's good. James Kossaboon in 7th. In the number 7 no livery Ford. He hasn't had a livery this entire season. Up 0.4 on his time. 0.4 is going to move him up. Going to hold it. Can move him up into 3rd, maybe. We'll see what happens here. Up a half a second, 0.6 now. I was talking to James prior to the race, and he was saying he's not confident in getting a podium, but I don't know. He might be able to start on podium. We'll have to see what happens here. There are some people that are going to make improvements as well to try and overtake him, but it'll be his final chance. It looks like Nick Kanya is going to get another lap in. Actually, it looks like the top 3 may get laps in. We'll see what happens here. Will Figgins on another lap. James Kossaboon up into 3rd. Like we're talking about, Will Figgins overtaking Kanya for that 1st place position. These guys are going to get another lap. Mike Burkhoff. Not Mike Burkhoff. Was that Banning? Banning pulling over. Looks like most of these drivers are going to come to a stop here. As the AMs are going to try and get their times in. Tony Danzig crossed right at the 0 time, it looked like. So he's got his next lap. And the AMs are starting their out laps. We're starting to see them go out. They're going to drive an out lap just like the pros did. Giving space to each other, etc. So it looks like Kanye is in the pits and accepted his second place. However, we do still have some pros out to try and attempt an overtake for qualifying. Mike Burkhoff crossing the line, moving up into fourth in his beautiful pink Ferrari. James trying to make an improvement. Will is going to make an improvement as he goes up Schumacher S now. You can see on that qualifying grid on the right side of the screen how close Will and Kanye are, basically touching on times. Their last time for Will was a 53.970 and Kanye at 53.972. However, Will is getting ready to go into the final sector of the track and try and make an improvement on his time just to give himself that much more breathing room as far as time goes. It doesn't really matter. He's going to hold that first place position. Higgins coming around the final corner now. Up on his time. He's going to make an improvement. It's not going to matter. He's going to hold that first place position. James Kosovoon in trail. Both these drivers pulling off the side of the track. Tony Danzig making an improvement on his time. Moves up into 16th. Going to come to a stop. With that said, looks like Bennett is going to start off leading the AMs. We've got 43 drivers on track this evening. As you can see on that track map, these drivers are trying to get through this final sector of the track. Bennett does not want to end up catching up to that final group of drivers in that last sector. I don't think it's going to happen. On board for Devin Anthony. Hello, Devin. How you doing, buddy? I'm going to turn off this qualifying split. We're probably not going to see too many of these AM drivers up in that, so we're going to move that off screen now before I forget. Bennett through turn 8. Getting ready to go up the hill towards Schumacher S. Good job, Will. When you don't have Schneider on track to race against, you don't have to worry about it too much, right? You're doing an awesome job, though, dude. P1. Technically P1 last week as well. All technicalities, right? Works out, though. Bennett is still leading the AMs as he comes through the final sector now, or into the final sector. The final sector of the track is just the chicane and the final corner. It's just it's a weird final sector, but to see how he does. Bennett should be on a valid lap. Into the chicane now. All right, let's get that changed up. We got some weird music being played. There we go. Bennett crossing the start finish line, already overtaking Andrew Casey and Doug Furnish for 17th, moving up into that Pro-Am split. We were talking about this. Bennett is up there as far as position goes. He definitely has the pace to race against these guys, so we'll definitely see him in the Pro-Am split next season, I'm sure. Some other Pro-Ams, or I'm sorry, some other AMs finishing their first lap. Mackey in 20th with a 57.530. Drew Freiberger, 58.4. Looks like we just got another quick overtake there. Kevin Schmidt has moved up into 21st, overtaking Mackey, 57.417. Glenn Jacobs, Sean Bramer, both of them have put down there a couple valid laps. We're getting a good amount of valid laps now with improving times, of course. Bennett is improving on his time. Mackey is already a half a second up on his time. Charles Apgar has just crossed the start-finish line. Put down a 2-minute flat. Definitely making some improvements. Bennett up a half a second as he goes up the hill towards turn 11 now. I feel like turn 11 and 12 is just the biggest chicane ever. It's just how it feels. It's like a huge chicane. Down the hill now towards, I say down the hill, it's more uphill here, towards the final chicane. A half a second up. Bennett is about to cross the finish line again. A half-second improvement is going to move him up another position, overtaking Tony Danzig. Losing a little bit of time there on the final corner. We'll have to see how it goes. He might be on pace. Nope, he's moved up a half a second again. Up, overtaking Tony Danzig. Driver shout out Drew Freiberger for being such a sweetheart all season. Drew's awesome. We love Drew. So we are seeing some red plates mingle with the silver plates. Speaking of red plates mingling, look at Joe Ligioso. Up in 10th, everybody. Holy crap. In 10th. We got Justin Hauser up a whole second on their time. Last lap was a 59.525. Coming into the chicane now, still making improvements on his time. It's going to move him up a significant amount of positions. Currently in 35th, people are putting down faster laps and pushing him down, but we'll have to see what happens as he comes across the start-finish line. 1.5 seconds up, moves up into 29th place. Great improvement. Brooks crossed the start-finish line from 33rd, moving himself up into 29th. Mike Cook coming around the final corner. 2 seconds up on his time. 35th up into 27th. A lot of improving times that lap. We got 2.5 minutes left in qualifying. What do you have? Dovakin next to your name. That is him. Not like this. Ziad Jalal? Up 1.5 seconds on his time. In 25th, racing around some silver plates. We are going to see a lot more red plates move up and overtake some of these silver plates and white plates as well. Up almost 1.5 seconds. He is coming up to some other cars here. Up through Schumacher S. Into turn 11 now. 1.3 seconds up. Still gaining a little bit of time here and there. Doesn't want to be held up too much by the car ahead of him. See just a little bit of that other car ahead whenever a camera changes. There you go. He is using the draft down the straight on this guy. Into the chicane. 1.5 seconds up. That's going to be a good improvement as well. Moving him from 27th. 28th now. He's going to move up into 15th. That's going to be second place overall for the AM split drivers. Right now, Joe Ligioso is in the pits and is just content with his 10th place. First place overall for the AMs. Ziad pulling off. Has 1 minute left. He's decided to pull off as well. He's content with his second place. Bennett, on the other hand, is out charging. I can stick to you like caramel. Okay. Allenson, another fast driver, making improvements on his time. Still has an improvement. 0.3 seconds right now. Drew Freiberger out on track in the Wreckham Race Team Ford Mustang. 1.5 seconds up on his time. Going to make a good improvement. So we got a couple drivers to watch. Chan as well. Allenson. I want to watch Allenson a little bit here. These drivers are about to finish their qualifying. Me whenever you feel like, okay, I gotta do Devin and I gotta do Will. We'll get to it at some point. Actually, Devin Anthony. Okay, yes, he did put down time. Okay. Allenson coming into the chicane now. He does have Drew Freiberger ahead of him. But to see what Drew does. Moves up into 26th place. Going 27th on there. That's an inaccurate number. 26th for Drew. Allenson has moved up directly behind Ligioso. everybody. 10th and 11th are our P1 and P2 for our AM split. Third is in 15th. Tony, I swear to goodness gracious, if you dive bomb and kill people, you will be banned for a season. I'm just going to put that out there. I will ban you for an entire season if you do that. So I have some improvements on track to be had. Mike Cook coming around the final corner. He's up a little bit on his time. Is it going to be enough to improve? It is not. Going to hold that 32nd place. Chris Capps as well. A lot of drivers out on track still just trying to get in their last little bit of practice in. Mike Cortez crossing the line in 24th. So you're not scared of Will, but you're scared of me by going, I'm kidding! Tony, oh no, Danzig. Yeah. Ziad. Like Ziad was able to continue and get another lap in. So while he goes out and does his final lap, we're going to take a quick look at the standings, everybody. All right, taking a look at the standings. I have stuff in the way, but you can see on the left side, we got Joe Allenson in first. Now, Joe is in second place currently on track, so he can hold that. He's got 334 points. It is a double points race. We may see some changes in that position. Justin Hauser in second, 311. But the battle's going to be for third. Look at this. 305 for third, 304 for fourth, 303, and 303 for fifth and sixth. And then 300. There's a lot of battling. And then 298. Any one of those guys can move up into third place for the AM split. Pro-Ams. Got 323 for Rolando up in first. Aguedo, I'm so bad at saying that. Martinez in second. 1 point behind. And then 2 points in trail for third is Will No. Move on to the pro split. Russell Harrell in first, 340, tied with Will Figgins, 340. Now, Will is in first right now, as far as qualifying goes, and Harrell is in fifth right now, so he's got some work to do. 338 for Nick Kanye. These guys are battling very closely for that, so we're excited to see what they can do. With that said, I need to quickly run down and go through all of these drivers. I'm going to do that. In first, Will Figgins. Second, Nick Kanye. Third, James Cossaboon. Fourth, Mike Burkhoff. Fifth, Russell Harrell. Sixth is Austin Gerber. In first for our Pro-Am split, in seventh overall, Nicholas Dwyer. Eighth is Carl Banning. First for our AM split, but ninth overall is Joe Ligioso. 10th is going to be second place for the AM split. 10th overall, Joe Allenson. Jesus Swanseeger in 11th. Shane Dodger in 12th. Devin Anthony in 13th. Rolando Ramos in 14th. Rounding out the top 15 is Garrick Bennett. Ziad Jalal, sorry I said that wrong. Again, 16th. Wes Jones in 17th. Jake Willems in 18th. He is a pro driver in 18th. Just putting that out there. He's got some time to improve. All right. 19th is Kevin Schmidt. Rounding out top 20 is Alan Mackey. Tony Danzig in 21st. Ryan Chanley in 22nd. 23rd will be Christopher Chan. 24th, Michael Cortez. 25th, Tyler Plunkett. Eric Metcalf in 26th. Drew Feierberger in 27th. Doug Furnish in 28th. Justin Hauser in 29th. Isan Gok in 30th. Andrew Casey, the man, the myth, the legend, in 31st. Mike Cook in 32nd. 33rd will be Ryan Brooks. 34th, David Wolf. 35th, Jeremy Hayes. Phil Dixon in 36th. 37th, Chris Capps. 38th, Luke Warwater. Luke Warwater, I love that name. 39th, Glenn Jacobs. Sean Bramer in 40th. Charles Apgar, 41st. Alex Londar, 42nd. And I'm showing Aguedo Martinez on an outlap, but in last. So it looks like he was able to join at the last moment, everybody. With that said, I'm going to quickly run another ad so we can get that full 30 minutes in, a little bit of time in, get this out of the way, and we'll see you guys here in just a moment. Those of you that are subscribed, thank you for being here. Thank you for the subscription. We're happy to have you. Thank you for the support. I want to thank all of our staff here at Noobs R Us, all of our event administrators, our head stewards, our full-on stewards, all the coordinators. I would like to thank all of you for everything you do to continue making this series, this community, what it is. I want to thank all of our drivers for being here and persevering and trying to get better. You guys are doing awesome. We're seeing a lot of improvement each season. We're seeing a lot of drivers each season. We got 43 for the finale during this season. That is awesome. That's great to see that. Alexio in chat. Hello, Alexio. Got a little bit of chill music going on before we get into this race. It's going to be 90 minutes of non-stop talking. I can already tell I will be taking a pee break about halfway in. The hill they go. Nice relaxing music. What happened to your voice? It sounds the same. Nobody knows, man. Nobody knows. All right, that ad has completed. We got 1 hour before the next required advertisement. 90-minute race. We will do that ad break somewhere in the middle. With that said, music is going off. It'll be nothing but cars and my voice for the next 90 minutes. All the drivers trying to go side by side. Looks like all the ones in the back are trying to catch up. Look at this. They're all trying to catch up. Going into the chicane, though, it's fairly easy to catch up, get everybody in the back caught back up. There we go. Side-by-side formation. The lead driver's coming around the final corner now.
Green line. Give it all you got.
Very green at the Nürburgring GP circuit. 90-minute race. Will Figgins trying to hold that first place position. He's got it into turn one. Nick Kanye right behind. We do have a yellow flag here in the middle. People getting box spun around. We can see a lot of that. Hanley, we got some other drivers spun around. Losing a lot of positions. A lot of yellow flags right now. The Devin Anthony in the middle of the track back there. Casey Swanseeger as well. They do have 90 minutes. That's plenty of time to catch back up and get back up. Oh my goodness gracious, who is that? Not holding their brakes. We had a huge bonk there from Jeremy Hayes. A lot of damage straight off the start for him. That was a wonderful first lap, first couple corners. With that said, the pit window is open. I don't suggest anybody go pit unless they absolutely have to. We may see that happen. All 43 drivers continuing to drive. Like I said, 90 minutes is a lot of time. Bonky bonka Will Figgins going to hold on to that position. He goes into turn 11. Looks like Kanye is trying to put some pressure on. Right on his tail. Out of turn 12. Will's going to stay to the left here. Be defensive. Oh, Not quite enough. Anya poking to the inside, into the chicane, side by side. A little bit of contact, sliding off. Kanya slipping around. I'm not able to click him because he's moving too quickly. There we go. Kanya got to recover and get back on track safely. My goodness gracious. With that said, Figgins is no longer in first. Russell Harrell's leading the pack. Figgins now in fourth. He's side by side with Mike Burkhoff as they go into turn one. He's going to have the advantage into turn two. Moving back into the middle of the pack, Eric Metcalf just came across the start-finish line for his first lap in 30th place overall. Right behind Martinez. Now, Martinez started out in the back and is now up in 28th, so he was able to get a lot of free overtakes because of the initial bonks that happened. A lot of battling still going on all over the place right now. Martinez trying to get side by side with Caps and get around him. Willems. We got both Willems on track tonight. We got Jake Willems and where's the other one? I lost him. He disappeared. I thought we had both on track. Did we not? Maybe I just saw that incorrectly. I'm sorry. Guess the other Willems is not racing tonight. Just Jake. With that said, Figgins has caught back up to the lead driver. It's now hitting that other driver, Russell Harrell. Lot of pushing and shoving. Will Figgins back into first. Russell Harrell right on his tail. James Kosoboon right on their tail. The battle for first is still on. Are we going to see a repeat? Will Figgins staying defensive. There's a slip. Russell Harrell sideways into James Kosoboon. James drifting around the corner. Both these drivers seemed like they were able to make it out alive. James now has a couple drivers ahead of him. He's got to try and get back around. That could have been disastrous. Carl Banning in the back just had an incident. Let's see what happened with him. Backing it up. Looks like he just went off the chicane. Luckily, nothing bad came of that. Moving up on the track. Had Mackey side by side. It looks like he was still side by side with Chanley there for just a moment, but we missed out on that. Martinez trying to get around some drivers. Metcalf getting into an incident around the final corner. Moving back a couple of positions. Another incident. Ramos drifting around on track. My goodness. A lot of bonks going on right now. Metcalf again with another incident. And his return to the pits. Some drivers in the pits getting repairs at this point. A lot of bonks that were happening there for a little while. Devin Anthony back out on track. We'll have to see whenever he starts getting in with some traffic. We'll watch him as he wants an onboard. So does Will Figgins. Will is pulled away from the pack. Kosoboon still fighting for third. He also has Mike Burkhoff right behind him. Ooh, you can see Gerber going off just a little bit there. Same kind of place right there where Will and Gerber got into last lap. James staying on the inside. Oh, there's the spin. James getting into it again. Gerber off track. There's a bonk. My goodness. Andrew Casey had an incident as well. What happened with Andrew? Oh, it looks like he just missed his braking point, ended up in a wall. Luckily, no major damage from that. Looks like he was able to get going and rejoin at some point fairly safely. Wes Jones putting some pressure on lukewarm water as they go down the back straight towards the chicane. Lukewarm water has Ryan Brooks right ahead of him as well. There's a car backwards on track of David Wolf. Eventually, we'll stop seeing these major bonks as the cars start to split up a little bit more. Once again, this is a rookie series, so we are expecting to see some decent bonks. Lukewarm Water going for the send on Ryan Brooks. Ryan on the outside. Not able to hold that position. Now Wes Jones is right behind trying to put some pressure on. You can see that damage to Ryan Brooks' car ahead. Oh, Wes Jones will have the opportunity to overtake, I'm sure, with that damage. There's a spin. Almost damaged. Oh, there's a bonk with Wes Jones and Sean Bramer in the back. Gone now backwards. We're catching all the bonks, you guys. Moving back, we got Austin Gerber, who was fighting for one of those top positions, is now down in 13th. Down 7 positions from where he started. See all that damage to the front end of his car. Right behind Doug Furnish. Going to do everything he can to try and catch up. Dane Dodger attempting an overtake on Nick Kanya. Maybe it's the opposite way around. Maybe Nick Kanya was getting around. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Nick Kanya was getting around Shane. Mike Cortez trying to put some pressure on Gerber ahead. Gerber with that damage isn't going to be able to hold him off for too long. Ligioso, somebody we haven't actually watched during the race yet, in 6th place. 2nd place for the AMs. I want to put this out here. We have AM drivers up in the top 10, top 5 even. Ooh, there's a possible spin there from Casaboon. There's a bonk. No major damage came of that. Ligioso still trying to hold off Casaboon here. Ligioso not able to keep pressure on Dwyer ahead, but now he's got to worry about James behind. I'm not going to lie, if I was in Ligioso's position, I wouldn't really care about James behind. I'd be worried about trying to catch up to Dwyer. I wouldn't let James around. I'd be like, nope, you lost it. This is mine now. We got battles in the back here. I say that, but it looks like Londar was going really wide there into turn 1. Tom Bramer's got all that damage to the front end of his car. Not really a great time to try and hit Mackey. Putting some pressure on Lukewarm Water ahead. Ramos, Dixon. Dixon going really wide through turn 8. Off track. We're going to take a look here. Andrew Casey looks like he's back on track and continuing on in 32nd ahead of Tony Danzig, so has some competition around him. Andrew Casey not really comfortable with his 720S Evo after switching from the Mustang. He did want to try something new, so that's where he went. I guess it's not new. It's kind of back to old. It's what we started out in. The first Noobs R Us GT3 was a 720S. Casaboon still trying to keep that pressure on Ligioso ahead. You can see this train of cars. Oh my goodness gracious! Ligioso crashing into P1. My goodness, P1 for the AMs. These guys all moving back. Jeez and rise. Mrs. Breaking Point went right into that. But Ligioso is right behind Allenson. These two drivers fighting for first place. Drew Freiberger, potential 3-wide situation. Drew is going to cut to the inside here through turn 4. Whatever turn that is, 3 rather. Getting around Justin Hauser and Gok as well. Into 16th place for Drew. Gok got pressure of Ziad behind. Ziad just getting around. Easy peasy. Making it look simple. A lot of position changes, everybody. Look at all those position changes right next to their names. Only person that really hasn't changed is Will Figgins in first. And Ligioso after his bonk in 10th now. Everybody else has gone up or down positions. Ziad getting around Mike Cook. Trying to catch up to Hauser ahead. Doc spinning off track. Moving up the track. Nick Kanya putting pressure on Carl Banning ahead. Nick absolutely has the ability and pace to get around these drivers and get back up into the top three. You can see him closing that gap up into turn one. Not really earning the corner, but putting his nose in anyways. Kanye getting around, moving up in the grid, trying to catch back up to those top five drivers. The grid is starting to split up a little bit. This is good. We've got Devin Anthony alone on track still. I want to see him when he's around some other drivers. Get an on board with him. With that said, let's get an on board with Will Figgins. Actually, wait. We'll wait until he comes around the start-finish line this next lap. Looks like he is coming up to a back marker already of Austin Gerber. Gerber all the way in last after his pit stop early on. Martinez putting pressure on. Cook ahead. We do have a couple back markers already in the mix. Have pit early and come out. But all four of these drivers racing right here. Trying to get that 18th position. Martinez is going to hold it and run away. Galal and Hauser getting into it just ahead. Oh, Chris Caps. Hello, Flash Caps. Hello. Ooh, there's some swerving going on. Chris Caps has Ian Gach behind him. Got a pretty decent space of the car ahead, so he has some ground to make up, but he is up 15 positions from where he qualified, so he's doing awesome, even though he has that damage to the front end of his car. Dane Dodger side by side with Nick Kanye as they come out of the final corner down the front straight. They're going to stay side by side. Kanye closing up that space between the two of them for just a moment. Into turn one. Kanye is going to complete the overtake in through the braking zone and start to run away. Dodger does have Carl Banning behind to worry about. Will Figgins, I've already missed his start-finish line, so let's just jump on board with Mr. Figgins as he goes into turn 7 now. Is coming up to a back marker of Austin Gerber. Now, Gerber is able to keep pace with Figgins. If he keeps his mind to it, I think he'll be fine. Up the hill they go through Michael Schumacher S. Towards turn 11, braking just past the sign. Is in the full track, inside and out. Braking early. It's a really weird, tight corner there. You got to figure out the proper place to brake there. No braking for this corner. I'm braking right around the 100 board. He brakes between the 150 because he's better than me. I wouldn't be able to do it. Using all the curb there. Able to really get this car to turn even when you don't think it will. Just gained some ground on Gerber ahead. Once again, Gerber is in last place overall. Not true, not true. He's just, there are some other people in the mix. He's in 39th. Brian Brooks in chat ended up backing out, got demolished in that turn 2 pilot. Had to pit. Hey man, you have 90 minutes. You should have just went back out. 90 minutes is enough time to catch back up and get going. And be competitive for mid-pack. All right, Will Figgins is going to continue charging on, try and catch up. The battles have been going on as we've been chatting. Got people all over the place. Andrew Casey and Glenn Jacobs will be going at it with Tony Danzig behind. And he smoked turn 8 and was in the pros way. Oh, God. You still could have done it. The pros are supposed to be more safe around you. They're supposed to. That doesn't mean they are. Joe Allenson. Yes, he is. He is doing awesome. Allenson up in 9th overall. First for the AM split. He does have Ligiosa right behind him in that black McLaren. Down the hill they go towards turn 8. And Joe Allison ain't knows Chris Caps. Oh no. Allison continuing to run away from Ligiosa. We got an incident going on with Dixon. Looks like he just went off track and through a corner. Didn't hit anybody, thankfully. Chris Caps able to get alongside Dixon. They go down the hill. There's a 3 wide situation. Ooh, there's the bunk. Chris Caps wide. Losing a position because of it. Dixon sliding out. Luckily, Chris was able to get through that mostly unscathed. Drew Freiberger now on Dixon. Is Drew going to try an overtake attempt here shortly? I have to see. He is going to have the draft down this next straight. Dixon going wide. Drew staying narrow. Going to allow Drew to get the better exit in this next corner. And there's a little bit of dirt. See Dixon being extremely defensive. Moving to the outside. Drew's going to follow and go off track. There we go. Back to the outside. No position gain. Both drivers lost some time because of it. Now they got to worry about Luke Warmwater and Wes Jones behind. Move back and back here to Andrew Casey and Tony Danzig. Looks like Tony was able to get around Andrew. Tony did pit on lap 2, it looks like. Yeah, it looks like Andrew's going to fall off a little bit here. Tony Danzig's going to keep the pressure on Glenn Jacobs ahead. Glenn has Plunkett ahead of him. There he goes onto the inside. Glenn being really slow, causing Andrew to kind of back off a little bit too. Andrew's going to get around here at this point. No, he's not. Take that back. Glenn and Andrew side by side through turn 2. Andrew slipping on the outside. Going to try and keep that pressure on and try and get around Glenn through turn 4. And Glenn, the Wreckham Race Team principal. Ooh, going a little bit wide, almost rear-ending Tony Danzig ahead. Luckily, nothing came of that. We do have a train of cars all the way up to 27th. May see some overtakes here shortly. Andrew Casey once again catching up. Glenn Jacobs ahead, able to close that gap. Glenn is falling off from Tony Danzig now, and is outside of that slipstream range. Lost a lot of time through turn 8. Up the hill they go. There's a slow car on the track. It's Plunkett. Andrew to the inside. Side by side they go through turn 12. Down the hill towards turn 11. Or I'm sorry, 13. I don't know why I went backwards on my numbers. Andrew's completed the overtake into the chicane. Glenn's just going to tuck in. All right. Now Andrew's got to try and make up that ground to get back up to Tony Danzig. Tony right on the tail of Chanley. Chanley has all that damage to the front end I don't think Tony knows about. Chanley down 5 position from where he qualified. Tony down 7. Tony gets the better turn in. Not quite the better exit. Going wide in the next corner as well. Tony, a little bit slow on his. Not slow. He's just lacking a little bit of consistency over Chanley ahead. Gains it back a little bit as they come out of turn 4 now. These two battling is going to allow Andrew Casey to get back in slipstream range. There we go, side-by-side action down the hill towards turn 8. Tony able to get the braking done and be on the inside. Good overtake by Tony. Good facilitation by Chanley. Chanley now has Andrew Casey behind. Plunkett behind as well, trying to catch back up to Glenn Jacobs. Plunkett down 6 positions from where he qualified. Let's move up on the grid here. Ramos and Martinez side by side into the chicane. Good overtake into the chicane. Good facilitation by Ramos. Ramos now has Casey Swanseeger on the inside. Casey is going to be side by side on the way out. These two drivers will be side by side on the way into the first corner. It looks like Ramos just a little bit ahead. Is Casey going to back out? We'll have to see. He is not. Into the braking zone. Has earned the corner. Hit too much of the chicane or the curb. Still side by side into turn 2. He's not going to be able to get the overtake done here. He's going to have to tuck back in. We're at the point in the race, everybody, where the racing actually starts. And there's less bonking. What place is Chris Capps in? I don't see him. He's in 23rd. 23rd and fairly alone ahead and behind. Shane Dodger. Oh, let's see where Devin Anthony is. Devin Anthony. Still fairly alone, but he wants an onboard, so let's give him an onboard. He is redeemed an onboard. We got Galal in 23rd, has a yellow flag. We may have to check that out. Devin Anthony, 37th overall. Braking hard and heavy into turn 1. Staying far to the right in turn 2. A little bit of slip on the way out of turn 1. Using all the track on the right. Hard and heavy again into turn 3. A weird corner where you don't really get fully on the throttle. All the way to the outside. This right here is considered a corner for some reason. Why you see turn 5 on the track map. A little bit of trail braking into that corner and this one. You don't need to be too heavy. Using all the track. Devin Anthony is catching up to Charles Apgar. May be able to get on his tail before the end of the lap. Into the hairpin at the bottom of the hill. Up the hill they go. Braking hard and heavy into turn 11. Then you got to move right back to the left side just so you can come back hard to the right. Trail brake through the corner. Power on nice and early. Use all the track. Use the draft if you can down the straight. Don't hit that inside curb on the right. It will send you wide. Braking between the 100 and the 50. Devin brakes at the 100 and is now on the tail of Charles Apgar. Down the front straight. To answer your question, Jacob Sanders, exclamation point SimGrid. You can sign up for our next season. It starts in 3 weeks. Isan got. Ooh! Yellow flag. Let's see what happened to Isan. Through turn 12. It looks like he was more or less alone. To the inside. And the outside. Looks like he just spun out. Lost control of his car. Extremely unfortunate. Charles Apgar as well is getting into it with Devin Anthony. Ooh! I want to see what happened between these two. On the outside, Apgar, just got hit by Devin. Both of them flipping around backwards. My goodness gracious. And then another light bonk there. With all of that said, let's move up with Casey Swanseeger, who's putting that pressure on Ramos ahead. Casey, right on Ramos's tail, down the front straight. Into turn 1 they go. Casey not able to get alongside. We are about 30 minutes in. We have 1 hour left. 1 hour and 3 minutes left on this 90-minute race. There is a pit stop required. Some drivers have pitted. They may need to pit again because they pit too early. Might not have enough fuel. Casey keeping that pressure on Ramos ahead. These drivers have caught up to a group of cars now. Martinez, Chan, and it looks like Bennett as well. So ooh, to the inside they go. Casey bonking that BMW. Luckily, nothing bad came of that. Now Casey is off and outside of that battle. We got an overtake for first place in the M split attempt, it looked like. Allenson now in second, Liggioso in first. Allenson has Carl Banning to worry about behind. Banning in the Pro-Am split. Towards the chicane they go. Carl Banning sticking his nose to the inside, not able to get the overtake done. Allenson doesn't want to battle Banning. He wants to catch back up to Liggioso. He doesn't know. He's sitting there going, why are you fighting with me? Banning is leading the Pro-Am split. He is in first for the Pro-Ams. Allenson's in second for the Ams, ahead of him. So he doesn't want to battle him. They're not in the same split. So he's definitely trying to get around and continue on. Banning to the inside. Goes wide. Allenson and Liggioso are going to drive away. Moving back on the grid, we got Andrew Casey. Devin Anthony with a yellow flag. Looks like he returned to the pits. Just lost Andrew Casey. Where's he at? There he is. Put some pressure on Luke Warmwater. Flash Cap says he's nervous. Don't be nervous. Andrew Casey is up 4 positions from where he qualified. Definitely wants to make up some more ground. Luke Warmwater up 12 positions from where they qualified. So nearly the same pace. There's a train of cars ahead, all the way to Drew Freiberger. Just barely outside the slipstream range of Tony Danzig ahead. Drew does not want Tony to get around him. And Tony doesn't want to be held up by Dixon behind. There's a battle for fourth, it looks like. Am I seeing this correct? Nope, that was not a battle for fourth. That was Devin Anthony in the back. Let's move back to this battle here in the middle of the pack. Tony Danzig trying to close up that gap to Drew Freiberger ahead. Glenn Jacobs in the back as well, putting some pressure on Chanley. Chanley with that damage to the front end of his car. He's going to need to pit very soon. Glenn going wide. It's going to cause a little bit of chaos with the driver behind. Plunkett's going to tuck to the inside. For the hairpin, he's not going to be able to get alongside. Up the hill they go. Wes Jones getting an overtake done, then slipping. My goodness, we just missed that one. The battles are raging everywhere right now. It's hard to catch up with all of them. Andrew Casey still putting pressure on Luke Warmwater. It's hard to see what's going on. I'm trying to watch all the cars and all the things. Casey Swanseger. Drivers are all up in position. Looks like Wolf Figgins has gone into pit. He is pitting. First is going to be his only pit. He's got 60 minutes left. He's pitting early, it looks like. I don't know if that's going to be beneficial to him or not. But we'll have to see what happens. Going down a lot of positions because of it, but he may come back out on first or in first after all the pits are concluded. Kane Dodger, Nick Dwyer. Banning ahead. These 3 racing for that 7th place position. Glenn Jacobs side by side with Zia Jalal. Zia just falling off a little bit. Londar side by side with Gerber. Losing a position there. A lot of position changes going on right now. I believe that's due to some pit stops. So we are seeing some random position changes. Drew Freiberger. Drew still has Tony Danzig behind. Tony has closed up that gap and is now right on Drew's tail as they go up the hill towards Schumacher S. Drew's going to hold that 23rd position ahead of Tony. Tony off and into the wall. What happened there? Let's watch a helicam view of that. As he goes up the hill. Oh, and just hits too much inside curb there and slips out. My goodness. As we say, Ferrari doing Ferrari things. That was definitely a good definition of that. We may see Tony jump into the pits this lap. With that said, lukewarm water. As Dixon and Andrew Casey behind still. Into the chicane they go. But Luke was able to get around Dixon. Dixon now has to worry about Andrew Casey ahead or behind. Andrew right on his tail as they go down the front straight. Chris Capps up in 20th place. The people pitting, he's going to move up. If he pits late, he may move up into the top 10. Dixon now behind Andrew Casey. Andrew's going to try and catch back up. Lukewarm water ahead. Let's go, Russell. Got some cheering for Russell in chat. With that said, I lost him. Where is he at? Russell Harrell. What position is he in? Why am I blind? He is going tentatively in first. Now, he hasn't pit. Neither has Mike or James or Nick. However, some of the drivers that have, like Will Figgins, was in first and a couple seconds ahead. So if Will did a longer pit stop, then Russell may be able to catch up. Hopefully he can stay in first. We'll have to see as the race continues on. Ooh, right when we switched to Nick Kanye, he's slipping, moving across the track in front of James Kosovoon. James up into third because of that. Nick Kanye needs to keep his head down and continue on racing. Casey Swanseeger putting pressure on Ramos. Andrew Casey still putting that pressure on lukewarm water. Looks like he may get an overtake attempt opportunity into the chicane. We'll have to see. Is he going to move to the inside? He's not. He's just going to tuck in and stay right behind. Into the chicane they go. Closing the gap a little bit. Into the braking zone for the final corner. Andrew's going to try and get that better exit. Looks like he may. Lukewarm water on the inside, as far to the inside as he can go. It looks like Luke is actually giving that position up to Andrew. Andrew's going to get a free position. Cars coming out of the pits. Devin Anthony just completed their pit. Andrew wide on the exit of turn 1 into turn 2 now. Not losing any positions. How many pit stops? Just one required pit stop. Some people are taking more than that because they got into accidents early on, but only one that's required. They are required to take fuel for 25 seconds. They can take tires. It adds only 5 seconds to that time. So it is a strategy. You may have better tires and may be able to go faster for the second half of the race. So Tony Danzig in the pits. Mike Cook in 21st, right on Chris Capps. Able to get the overtake done through turn 8. Chris Capps following up the hill now has Wes Jones behind to worry about. We haven't seen a lot from Wes Jones yet this race, but we know that he absolutely can race and get some overtakes done. But looks like Wes is down 4 positions and is just kind of maintaining his track position. We'll have to see as they come out of the exit of turn 12 into turn 13 and then the chicane. We'll have to see. Wes is closing that gap up. Is he going to go to the inside? He is not. He's just going to follow into the braking zone for the chicane. Wes now has Drew Freiberger behind to worry about. Chris Capps needs to make some power moves. It doesn't look like he needs to. It looks like Wes Jones is falling off. Drew Freiberger is able to get around. You can see Wes Jones now behind all of them. Drew Freiberger able to get a free position there. Chris Capps now kind of running away in a comfortable position. Gonna have to try and catch up to Mike Cook ahead. Looks like he's just off the pace right now. We'll have to see as the lap progresses. If he's able to get hot back up, might cook ahead. It's all right. Right now, he's in a comfortable place. I wouldn't say he's lacking. I would say that he's taken a breather from all the battling he just did. So he's in a comfortable place. If I were him, I would just be like, all right, get right back in the right mindset and then go. Shane Dodger and Carl Banning. Carl did a pit stop on lap 2. Is still in 8th. Carl is going to need to do another pit stop in order to have enough fuel to complete the race. Shane falling off a little bit down the front straight. Most of the battling is kind of fallen off here. It looks like Casey Swanseger might be getting ready to go for an overtake on Ramos as they go into the chicane now. Casey trying to close that gap up, not quite able to do so. I'm going to move back to Wes Jones again, as Wes Jones is caught back up to Drew Freiberger. Looks like Wes is on pace with Drew, a little bit quicker. Nope, I take that back. They're like identical on pace as far as fastest lap times go. However, Wes is going into pit and to complete his pit stop now. Casey Swanseger still trying to get some overtake opportunities on Ramos. Looks like they are side by side through turn 3. Casey Swanseger now side by side through turn 4. Is he going to have the better run? He might have the better run into turn 5 and 6. I don't think anybody's upset. He's just cheering, okay? Wes Jones in the pits. Coke trying to complete his pit. Bennett's in the pits. We got a yellow flag from Dixon. What happened here? Go to the Helicam view. He was all alone for the most part. Looks like he was going through turn 3. And then turn 4 and just slipped out. Yep, too heavy on the gas. Unfortunate. Was in the middle of the track and then returned to the pit. So he's definitely got a tow penalty, basically. The game penalizes them for returning to the pits without actually driving into the pit. So Casey has been behind Ramos this entire time, and it has allowed Hauser and Mackey to catch up. Hauser going to put on a little bit of pressure to Casey to go into the chicane now. Casey trying to run away from him. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. He's going to go off track, losing a little bit of time. Decides he's going to go into the pit. I think that was a smart move. Hauser's going to follow. I'd take that back. Mackey is going to follow. That was a smart move by Casey. He lost a lot of time going into that. So you can run that time into your pit stop, but you're almost not going to lose anything. Plunkett. Yellow flags all around here. What's going on? Back this up here. Like Wolf got into it with Jacobs. Looked like there was a big bonk here. What happened? Ooh, there it is. Just a slip. And then into another car. My goodness gracious. When is this over? You can see that green time on the left side of the screen above the times that everybody's doing, or top right corner of our screen. 49 minutes left in today's race. A lot of bonking just happened. I can't believe that happened. All right, seeing some people come out of the pits. Hola, Lizzie. ¿Cómo estás? Dwyer is trying to get an overtake down on Shane. Hits Shane there sideways. Dwyer's going to come out more or less unscathed. Shane's trying to go. It looks like his car wasn't able to. There he goes. No real position loss, but a lot of time lost for that. If I were Shane, I would jump into the pits this lap. Like I said, you don't want to lose any extra time. Might as well just go into the pits. Chris Capps might be the most underrated and upcoming driver. He is not going to go into the pits. With that said, Drew Freiberger is caught up to Chris Capps. Chris Capps is up 23 positions from where he qualified. However, Drew is Not currently lapping faster, but has a faster lap overall. I have to see if he's able to put on pressure if he gets nervous. Looks like that off track is going to cost him a little time. Andrew Casey will be able to catch up from behind. Drew slipping and sliding into the chicane. His tires are starting to go out now. Andrew Casey is going to keep pressure on and try and get that better exit. Down the front straight they go. Andrew Casey going to the inside. Has Devin Anthony behind it, looks like, as well. Drew going really wide, allowing both Devin Anthony and Andrew Casey to get through. Devin went really wide, too. So Andrew is going to run away. Devin Anthony is now on the inside of the next corner. That could have been really bad. Luckily, nothing came of that. We got a yellow flag from Londar. Back this up and see what happened. Oh, we're not going to see what happened. I'm sorry. He was off track and in a wall for quite some time and then trying to resituate. Oh, my goodness gracious. With that said, everybody, Russell Harrell, still leading the pack in first, has yet to pit. He's getting close to the point where we're at the midpoint. He may still stay out for another 15 minutes or so. With all of that said, we are approaching our halfway point in the race. I will need to do an advertisement soon. Andrew Casey getting the yellow flag. What happened there? Did I click the wrong driver? It was just a temporary yellow flag. Nothing crazy. Ziad Jalal and Ryan Shanley. Ooh, just whooping to the inside, using some of that grass to get around. Londar, yellow flag still. No advertisement, just race, man. I have to run an advertisement, or you guys will get interrupted at a point that we might not like. The drivers are starting to pull away from each other and fall out. Chris Capps gaining a little bit of time. It looks like he's just going to get around Mike Cook. Mike is going into the pits for his pit stop. Chris Capps is yet to pit. Yep, drivers going in the pits. Drew Freiberger as well. All right, everybody is falling out of a second of each other. Let's run this advertisement while we can. It looks like the only battle right now is between Tony Danzig and Plunkett. Get this advertisement out of the way. As everybody is splitting up. I have to do the advertisement, you guys, or we're going to be interrupted while I'm talking. So let's just do it now. No reason to freak out, everybody. Thank you all for your patience. Thank you for being here. If you have a ad block, then hello. If you have a sub, then hello. How long is this? What do you mean, how long is this? The race is 45 minutes. The ad is only 2 minutes. 1 lap's worth. Nick Kanya putting pressure on Hauser ahead. Kanya going around Hauser. Thank you all for your patience. Don't got a lot going on right now, you guys. Welcome back. Thank you all for your patience. I'm glad you're back. there wasn't a whole lot to be missed other than Tony Danzig crashing himself out. A lot of the drivers were split out from a whole second from each other, so that's all good. Russell Harrell going into the pits. James Cossaboon taking first because of it. Mike Burkhoff following into the pits. So not a whole lot that happened other than Tony Danzig slipping out. Everybody else was just chilling. So that was a perfect time for an advertisement. If you guys do not like advertisements, feel free to use your Prime sub. It's a free sub. If you don't want to do it, it's only the one time. You'll get your sub back and you can use it somewhere else at another point. But we will have one more advertisement at the end of the race, probably. Maybe. But you're not going to have any more interruptions during the race. With all that said, Cossaboon is currently leading and has yet to pit. Jake Willems has not pit either, and Dwyer has not as well. That is going to allow some of these other drivers to move up. Will Figgins, unfortunately, in 18th place. Okay, he has a lot of his fellow drivers ahead. He is getting around some of them. Looks like Mike Cortez ahead. I don't know if pitting early was the right thing to do for Will. Yep, he's going off track. Hanley's able to get around him there. Ooh, they're side by side as they go in. Chanley's been doing a great job driving his car with that front end damage. Been doing an amazing job with it. We had somebody return to the pits, it looked like. Chris Capps is up into 8th place right now. He is yet to pit, so when he pits, he will move down. We don't know what position that'll be right now. Lukewarm Water is yet to pit as well. These drivers are starting to get in the mix of drivers that they're not used to being around, so going to be kind of wild for a little bit. Mike Cortez is... Oh, I tried to clear on Mike Cortez. We got Will Figgins behind. Will Figgins trying to gain positions. He's gained 2 in the last lap. His competitors are in the top 10. My understanding is the majority of them have yet to pit, so I have to see how it goes and continues to go. Our drivers are starting to fall off again as people enter the pits and split up. So right now the battle is right here between Mike Cortez and Figgins. Ooh, there's a driver off track, giving up that position there. See Figgins just gaining that ground in every single corner. Going wide, going to lose a little bit of time, but we'll see if Will's going to be able to get the overtake done. Maybe through Schumacher or the corner after that. Jacob Sanders got a lot to say. Hey, man, people talk. It is what it is. Nicholas Dwyer in the pits, moving down in position. Now beneath Mike Burkhoff. Mike has done his pit and has ended up in 4th. Russell Harrell completed his and has ended up in 3rd. I believe Russell and Mike will be the top 2. Nick Kanye will be 3rd. That was not a good pit for Will Figgins, putting him all the way into 16th. He pitted so early that it caused him to lose all that time. Chris Capps finally entering the pits. As he goes in in 9th. Let's see where he comes out. As we come back, when we come back to him. Casey Swanseeger. Let's go, Russell. Hello, Nico. Nat1597, hello. I think you've been in here and I just missed your hello. Yep, you did. Gerber putting some pressure on Chanley ahead. Chanley has been constantly going down positions, but he's still up 8 from where he qualified. Chanley does have to pit, though. We'll have to see where he comes out. With that said, let's take a quick look back at our man Capps. Still in the pits, he's in 20th. I'm telling you, that's how pit stops work. And I'm moving you down quite a bit. Mike Burkhoff just inside slipstream from Russell Harrell ahead. James Cossaboon and Willems both in the pits. Russell Harrell coming around the final corner now. Is he going to be able to get the overtake done on these 2 in the pits? I believe he will. We're going to go to the helicam so we can see them in the pits. There we go. There they are in the pits. Moving up second and into first. Russell Harrell is in the lead for the race, having completed his pit stop. It'll be Russell, Mike Burkhoff, and then Kanya. Now Kanya is going to be alone, and looks like Kasaboon is getting overtaken. Nope, not really getting overtaken. And Willems. Willems may overtake him. I have to see what happens here. There he goes. James trying to jump out right in front. Barely ahead of Willems on the way out. Wasn't early enough on the gas, causing a slowdown from Willems. Willems cutting across the track. Not going to get the overtake done, and Kasaboon is going to be side by side for a split moment. Tony crashed during Butterfingers. Hey man, Butterfingers are great. We love Butterfingers. Martinez and Dodger right next to each other, you say? They are close, not really battling. Looks like Dodger did lose a little bit of time. Martinez is catching up. It looks like we may have a battle for first by the end of the race, everybody. Casey Swanseeger, Wes Jones. I feel like we've been watching Casey a lot. He's been behind people this whole time, trying to get around them. We're down to 40 cars on track overall, out of the 43 that we started with. There we go. Casey, consider moving to the inside. Is he going to do it? He is not. He would have done it already. Maybe. There he goes. He's sending it into turn one. Alongside Wes, able to get the overtake done. Stay on the inside. Wes Jones backed out just enough to be safe. Casey will move up into 21st. Mike Burkhoff. You can see the lights flashing on Russell Harrell ahead as they come up to some back markers. They're coming up to Chris Capps, as a matter of fact. Chris is going to go wide here, allowing Russell and Mike to get through. Mike wants to get that position done, get ahead of Russell for that first place. Russell has moved up last season into the Pro-Am and this season into the Pro Split, and it is showing. Mike still trying to keep that pressure on Russell. This is going to be a full-on battle to the end of the race. There's 35 minutes left. No more pit stops required. Just got to try and navigate through the back markers. Russell will end up having to battle and keep Mike off his tail the entire race. Mike, a very competent, safe driver. You will see him try to get an overtake done by the end of the race. We're talking about Martinez and Dodger. These two drivers. Still trying to battle. Figgins trying to get around a back marker just behind them. Looks like we got people in the pits. Apgard leaving the pits. Tony Danzig in the pits. Ryan Chanley finally entering the pits for his pit stop. Will Figgins getting around back markers, trying to catch back up. Shane ahead. Mike Burkhoff now has lukewarm water behind the... Fallen off from Russell Harrell because of it. And that beautiful pink Ferrari. One of the older Ferraris, too. I think it's the only 488 on track. So Mike has to work to catch back up to Russell. Russell's outside of that slipstream range, so have to see how that goes. No other real battles for position. There is people battling for track position, but not for a local position. Carl Banning is in between our lead drivers of the AM split. Joe Allenson, he's right behind Joe in that pink Porsche and 7 seconds ahead of Ligioso. Hello, Ryan. We've got 34 minutes left in this race. The finale. While we have a moment, let's go back. What's a Ryan? Let's go back and look at the standings one more time. Let me pop those back up. I want to go over these standings and see what could possibly move these drivers up. It looks like Russell Harrell's in first. I don't know if that's going to move him. Let's see. I'm going to move the standings really quick. We'll take a look-see. Looking at the standings here, Joe Allenson is in first Right now, Joe Allenson is in first for the AM split on track as well. So as long as he stays there, he will hold that first place. I don't think he would have any issues with it anyways. Justin Hauser, second place, 311 points. Now, Hauser, let's see where he is at. Fish Stick gifting a sub to Head on a Swivel. Fish, thank you for the sub. Thank you for gifting a sub. Hello, Stream. Stream is really nice. Oh, Schnell. Hello, Schnell. Haven't seen you in forever. Anyways, looking at what we're looking at here. Hauser, where is he at on track? He's in 28. So he has a lot of positions to gain to catch up. He may end up losing the second place and moving down. With that said, Garrick Bennett. Bennett is in 18th, and he is ahead of Hauser, so he may end up taking that second place position. There is Legioso, Cortez, Chan, all ahead of Bennett. And you can see Mike Cortez is in fourth. Cortez may actually move up as well. There's a lot of battling right now for that third place position. I'm going to look at the let's look at the Pro-Am split here. Pro-Am split, we got Ramos, Martinez, and No. Let's see, Martinez, it looks like he is in 11th ahead of Ramos. So as long as he stays ahead, he may move up. Yeah, he's going to move up and take that first place position for the Pro-Ams. Look at the Pro split. We were talking about Russell Harrell just a moment ago. Russell Harrell is in first. As long as he stays in first, he'll keep it. Will Figgins is all the way down in 12th right now. So he's got a lot of time to gain. He's 1, 2, 3, 4 positions off of the leaders. So I don't know if he's going to hold that second place. Nick Kanye in third. Nick is in third overall right now too. So back to the race. With that said, Mike Burkhoff has closed the gap up to Russell Harrell ahead. Martinez is trying to catch up to Dodger, and Figgins trying to catch up to Martinez. Moving further back, we got Chris Chan and Bennett and Mackey fighting for that 17th place position as well. So a couple of battles on track. Nothing really major going on. Figgins in 12th. Trying to gain that position. He's got to get around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drivers before he's competitive with the pros. So he's got a lot of ground to gain. 30 minutes left. He might be able to do it. Not a lot of space between these drivers, so as long as he can get around them quickly, he might be able to do that. First place and second place have fallen off. Gerber is catching up to Mike Cortez ahead. Saw Gerber get into some bonks early on. He's currently down 8 positions from where he qualified, whereas Mike Cortez is up 12. Bennett and Mackey and Chan, these three, all bronzes fighting for that 17th place. Tonight's race is a double points race, which is why I'm saying as long as you're a position ahead of your competitor, you can get a pretty decent gap. So we'll have to see how this tosses up the final standings. Martinez going to the inside. And the overtake done on Shane Dodger through the final corner. I believe that is Devin Anthony behind. That is not Devin Anthony. That is Will Figgins trying to get around as well. Chris Capps is in 24th place overall, to answer your question. He's alone on front and back, nobody around him. Figgins losing a little bit of time there to Shane. He's really been battling. That early pit has really messed him up. He should have stayed out as long as he could. I don't know what happened, if he got into an incident or what, but ended up entering the pits and losing that position. Now he's fighting for a mid-pack place. Moving back, we got Garrick Bennett in the Wreck 'em Race team Ferrari. It looks like Christopher Chan's going to stay hard to the inside and hold that 17th place. Is it going to be enough through the next couple corners? Garrick trying not to hit Chan into turn 2. The battles are starting to close up a little bit more, especially near the front. The back of the grid, from 21st all the way to 40th, every driver is outside of a second from each other. So those drivers now are just trying to allow faster drivers to get around them and be safe. Well, Figgins and Martinez getting into it. Martinez backwards. Figgins pulling off. I don't know what happened. Letting Martinez go. Trying to give that position back so he doesn't get penalized any further. Banning has caught up to Allenson once again. Allenson is in first for the pro split, so I would feel fairly safe if you're worried about Banning catching up, just to give him that position and let him run. Banning is in first for the Pro-Am split, so while neither of these two drivers are racing each other because they're in separate splits, they are still competitive and trying to get as far ahead as they can. So there we go, Bennett and Chan down back straight towards the chicane. Chan on the inside. Bennett not able to get the overtake done. Good defense by Chan ahead. Now Swanseger is up. Sticking his nose in, is not going to be able to get alongside into the final corner. Oh, we see a GTR off track rejoining. Luckily, nobody got hit there. You saw those cars swerving at the last second there. With that said, Bennett's not going to give up. He's going to try and catch back up to Chan again this lap. Was able to do it last lap. We may see him do it again this lap. A train of cars is starting to build from 17th to about 21st. 20th, rather. Those four cars. There is a back marker in the mix there. I do want to see if Bennett's going to be able to get an overtake done. I believe he can do it. Got to worry about that Porsche behind and that 84 Noobs R Us. Casey Swanseger. Casey has been on somebody's tail the entire race, it feels like. Devin Anthony, yellow flag on track. I don't know what's going on with him. Looks like he's able to recover, but he's all alone. So Justin Hauser. Oh, look at that. Bennett off track, losing all those positions. That is not what we expected to happen. It's not what you wanted to see. Casey got a free position, is now going to just try and catch up to Chan ahead. Justin Hauser, we saw a yellow flag somewhere back here, but now Hauser's got an opportunity to try and get an overtake done on Glenn Jacobs. Glenn up 13 positions from where he qualified. Justin only up 2. So you know the ability is as far as putting down a fast lap. Justin Hauser's best lap this race, 57.2, and Glenn Jacobs 58.3. So we could absolutely see an overtake opportunity start to arise here in this next lap or so from Justin Hauser. Kind of falling off a little bit here. We'll have to see what happens in the next sector, see if he's able to catch up. I'm going to move up here to Austin Gerber. Martinez, these guys have been battling for a while. Will Figgins in the mix. No, where is Will Figgins? He's ahead and gotten away at this point. Gerber has Cortez right behind. Cortez looking to the inside. Is he going to send it? He is not. In through turn 6 now. Start to run away. I want to move back again to Hauser and Jacobs, see if Hauser's able to close this gap up. Up the hill they go through the Schumacher S. Hauser able to gain a little bit of ground through there. Nearly 3/10 on Glenn just through that one corner. Into the braking zone through turn 11. Gaining a little bit more time. Oh, he's off track. It's going to cause the time he gained. Going to end up losing that. I'm going to move to Casey Swanseger again. We'll come back to Hauser in just a moment. Casey Swanseger putting that pressure on Chan. I do want to see Casey get some overtakes done. He's down 6 places from where he qualified, so you know he absolutely can catch up. His fastest lap was a 55.7. Chan's was a 57 flat, so he is absolutely being held up by these cars around him. He just needs to try and get around. There we go. Chan's a little bit wide there. Casey's going to be on the outside of this next corner. If he can tuck in and get on the throttle early, he may be able to get a run. See some dust being kicked up from Ramos ahead. Or I'm sorry, that was a back marker. I don't know who that was. Right on the tail. Now he's on the outside for the entry into the chicane. In the chicane they go. Still on his tail. using all the track. You can see Chan being very defensive. Casey trying to get on the throttle early. Not quite able to do it. Down the front straight they go. Crossing the start-finish line. 23 minutes remaining. See how narrow Chan is. Into turn one. Casey able to get alongside on the outside. Not able to stay on the outside. Casey slipping a little bit through turn two. He's going to lose some time because of that. He may not have taken tires. We'll have to see as the lap progresses. Still a lot of pressure on Chan ahead. All this battling is allowing Bennett and Mackey behind to catch up. Side by side they go into the left-hander. Chan being defensive every single corner. Casey's going to have to find the right opportunity just to send it. Down the straight towards the hairpin. Casey is going to be on the alongside on the outside of this right-hand corner. This goes really wide into the dirt. Casey losing a position because of that. Unfortunate. We've seen a lot of overtakes happen there because of that. While that was happening, Hauser was able to get around Glenn Jacobs. Looks like it was a fairly clean opportunity and through the final corner, maybe in the chicane. Nick Kanya up in third. The battle for first has kind of fallen off at this point. Mike Burkhoff was not able to keep up with Russell Harrell. Russell 4 seconds ahead of these two drivers in second and third. Kanya, however, is caught up to Mike Burkhoff. Now just outside of a half a second from Mike. Has plenty of slipstream. A lot of power with that Ford. So he's going to close the gap up a little bit towards the chicane. Closing the gap in the braking zone. And through the final corner they go. They do have that the GTR ahead of them, of Londar. They're both going to have to try and get around. Kanye doesn't want to fall off, so he's going to try and tuck in behind Burkhoff for the overtake. Kanye trying to get alongside Mike into turn one. Mike was leaving the space for him to be there. Not able to get it. The GTR leaving plenty of space on the exit of the corner. Both those drivers able to get around unscathed. This battle up here in the front is going to be so hard it's going to be so hard to maintain your position because you're putting down such rapid laps. Kanye's fastest lap, 54.575. He is the fastest, done the fastest lap out of everybody on track tonight. So you know he has the pace to do it. His last lap was a 55.527. I believe that was his best lap since pitting. So he absolutely can catch up to Mike. He has the ability and potential to do it. Carl Banning putting pressure on Allenson still. No overtakes there. Martinez trying to catch up to Gerber ahead. Chan leading this train of 4 cars through the final straight now towards the chicane. Mackey, you can see that pressure he's putting on. He's going to the inside for the chicane. He's not able to outbrake him on the way in. These drivers are trying to put their cars in the right positions. They're just not able to complete the overtake and the braking. Gonna see it again down the front straight. Because the cars ahead of Mackey are all in the slipstream, he's not able to keep up with them. And being defensive into turn one, Casey closing that gap up. We saw Casey go a little bit wide here last lap, but he is very narrow and able to stay right on Chan's tail as he goes down into turn 4. Rather, turn 3 and now turn 4. Over the crest they go into turn 5. Casey keeping that pressure on Chan ahead. Ooh, there's a bonk! Setting Chan a little bit wide. Luckily, nothing came of that. Now we're coming up to the corner here where Casey tried to get on the outside and get an overtake done. It looks like we're going to see a repeat here. Is Casey able to get on the brakes timely enough? He is. It's such a wide corner, though. They are side by side up the hill towards Schumacher. Side by side they go. This is a dangerous corner to be side by side. Casey, overtake complete. Chan backing out. Chan now has Bennett behind to worry about. Ooh, Mackey and Bennett going at it. Or, yeah, Mackey and Bennett going at it. Top three has a huge gap. You're right. Bennett wants to get back into the battle here. He lost a couple positions a couple laps ago. He wants to get back up in there, continue battling. Casey doesn't want any part of it. He's actually starting to run away. He's already outside of that 1 second range. You can see almost going side by side through the final corner, Mackey and Chan. Mackey trying to get the better run. Chan is on the inside here. Down the front straight, a little bit of overlap. Chan going very narrow into this first kink and then the first corner so he can break in a straight line. You can see Mackey getting ahead through the first corner. Now is going to be able to get alongside into the second corner. Mackey getting the overtake done. Chan now has Bennett side by side with him. Bennett backing out into turn 3. There's a good amount of racing between all these drivers. This battle that's going on between these three has allowed Casey Swanseger to pull away a little bit. But there's a lot of switching of position here. Mackey is hoping that Chan and Bennett will continue to battle. Chan has been very defensive in nearly every corner. Because of it, it has allowed the drivers behind to catch up or the drivers ahead to pull away. You may see some defensive moves as this lap progresses. Yep, already falling off of Mackey. You can see Mackey starting to pull away. And has to worry about Bennett behind. You can see Andrew Casey, just a glimpse of him. May be able to see it here as they come through the corner. That is not Andrew Casey. That is the lead driver, Russell Harrell, coming up. Disregard that. Russell Harrell is going to try and get around these drivers as well. These guys are battling. Russell needs to understand that. But he's going to try and get around them. But they're not going to want to just give up track position. So we'll have to see what happens as the lead drivers start to come into play here. Bennett's going to be defensive towards the chicane, staying middle of the track. I'm sorry, Chan, defensive. Bennett. Ooh, Bennett off track. Russell off track a little bit too. Now Russell's getting around. He got around Bennett. Bennett does not really want to be in this position where he's now stuck unless he can stay right on Harrell's tail and follow through it for an overtake. We've seen Chan be very defensive. Ooh. Ooh, this is dangerous. The lead driver in the middle of that. Side by side with P19. Able to get around. We are back in the same battle as what we saw earlier with Chan and Bennett right on nose and tail. Luckily, nothing came of that. There was some dangerous, questionable, not sends or gaps, but it was questionable from my point of view. Okay, these guys probably felt confident, but who knows? With that said, P21 all the way to P39, everybody is outside of 1 second from each other. Andrew Casey has closed the gap up a little bit between Bennett and Chan. Figgins has moved up into 11th. He was the pole sitter. Whoa, what just happened there? Bennett sending it into the corner, going wide. We saw that a couple of times for Bennett earlier today. Has allowed Nick Kanye to catch up. Kanye in second place overall. Just going to tuck in. The battle between Chan and Bennett has fallen off. We'll have to see if that continues as Nick Kanye catches up to him. We do have a battle between Chanley and Glenn Jacobs ahead. Chanley had a lot of damage in the first half of his race. That damage has allowed him to fall off quite a bit, but he can definitely put down a fast lap. He's doing 57 flats, nearly. 57.4 was his last lap. Glenn Jacobs ahead. 58.9. So Chanley absolutely has the ability to get the overtake done. Will Glenn allow it to happen? I'll have to see. Glenn is a fairly passive driver and will allow an overtake if he feels it's safe to do so. Goes a little bit wide there. Chanley's going to be alongside down the hill towards the hairpin. Chanley being on the inside is going to be able to get the overtake done. And we'll try to run away. Andrew Casey is caught up to Bennett now. Bennett had a couple of slip-ups those last couple of laps, moving him back quite a few positions. Ooh, I just wanted to point out something, everybody. Liggioso is in 8th and has caught up to 7th place with Banning. Banning is 1.6 seconds off of Allenson. But we did see early on in the race. Now, Liggioso is in 2nd for the AM split. Allenson is in 1st. We saw early on in the race that he was kind of far back, 7 seconds or so. But he's closed that gap up to nearly 4 seconds. So we're going to have to see what happens as Liggioso continues to race Banning. Hopefully he's able to get around him in the next lap or so and fight Allenson for the end of the race. We got 12 minutes left. So anything can happen at this point. Trying to close that gap. Banning ahead. Ooh, slipping on the way out. Not going to really lose any time, especially with the slipstream down the hill. But he doesn't want to lose any extra time because he wants to catch up to his competitor ahead. He needs to get out of the way. With that said, Allenson looks like he's going to be going around a back marker of... who's that? Willems? That is not a back marker. What am I saying? Oh, yeah, Wolf behind the back marker. So these guys do have a back marker to contend with. We've got a yellow flag from Ramos. What happened here? Let's back this up just a moment. Ramos looks like he was all alone through turn 1. Just slowed down. I don't know what happened. Did he run out of fuel? He may have run out of fuel, everybody. He did. He ran out of fuel. Miscalculated by 10 minutes or pitted early. That's why I said you can't pit early. You can only run about 70 minutes tops. So if you pit too early, you're screwed. Andrew Casey side by side with Bennett as they come out of turn 4. Andrew moving to the right, almost tapped him. Into the braking zone they go. Andrew's going to hold that inside line. Overtake complete. Good overtake by Andrew. Bennett does not want to be in this position, especially since he is nearly half a second a lap faster than Andrew at his best. So Bennett has fallen off quite a few positions. All right. We were talking about it a little bit ago, but here it is now. Liggioso's got around Banning. Is now 0.8 seconds ahead of Banning, 2 seconds off of Allenson ahead. 54.982 is Liggioso's fastest. Liggioso has been held up quite a bit. Allenson has been alone quite a bit. Allenson's doing 56 flat or 56 fives. If Liggioso is able to do it, he may be able to do 55s and catch up. He's got 9 minutes left. 2 laps at 1 second a lap faster. You may see a battle for first in the AM split. Andrew Casey losing that position back to Bennett. Got to try and keep an eye on those podium drivers. I want to continue to watch that. Halal getting a freebie, it looks like. Ooh, side-by-side action with Plunkett. Plunkett kind of pulling away there. Let's move back to Andrew Casey and Bennett. And Chan as well. Chan has been leading every train that we've seen. He has been leading. He's so defensive. Ooh, hold up. Here it is. He caught up so quickly, everybody. Something happened with Liggioso ahead. Or Allenson ahead. Allenson fell off. Liggioso is now in the lead. Allenson is leading. First place right now for the AM split. He's got quite a few drivers ahead of him. It looks like the majority of them are back markers. Willems is ahead of him, and then Freiberger, Caps, and Cook Capps and Cook are fighting for that 24th position. We do see a car off track. That is... Oh, that wasn't off track. That was just Drew going wide. I want to watch this battle for first here and see if Allenson can catch back up. Yeah, he absolutely made a mistake. 59, 2 seconds slower, allowing Ligioso to get around. See if Allenson is going to be able to catch back up. Yeah, Ligioso's done great. There was an early on bonk between these drivers. Like I said, Ligioso fell off. He was like 7 seconds back during the mid part of the race. 7 minutes left. That's what, roughly 3 laps? He's starting to fall off there. This battle from Andrew Casey and Bennett is still raging. And Christopher Chan ahead as well. Luke, Warmwater, and Plunkett are going at it. At least attempting to. We got battles starting to build back up. I feel like, ooh, Drew Freiberger, yellow flag, slipping and sliding. Doesn't look like he hit anybody. That could have been dangerous. Oh, there was almost another dangerous moment as we switch back to Andrew Casey into turn 1. Andrew getting alongside. Bennett, overtake complete through turn 1. However, Bennett's able to get alongside on the way out. Andrew's going to have the defensive line into turn 2, holding that position. Bennett trying to get as much speed as he can. You can see Bennett slipping and sliding as he tries to get on the throttle early every single corner. I believe that is what caused him to lose a lot of positions later on in the race. Andrew Casey is now going to try and pressure Christopher Chan ahead. A little bit of a lull right here. Plunkett flipping and sliding. Looks like he just went wide and came off track. We got some yellow flags I'm trying to keep up with, guys. I'm sorry. Up the hill they go. Andrew tucking in right behind that Ferrari. Drew Schumacher-esque. Like he may have the run. Not going to be able to do an overtake into turn 11. Ooh, he's going to go wide through turn 11, causing him to slip across the track, almost hitting another car. Woo! Andrew Casey. If that's not commentator's curse, I don't know what is. Bennett now has to try and close the gap back up to Chan ahead. David, 14 months of subscriptions, sir. Hola, senor. I'm excited for this weekend. I didn't mean to. It just happened. Austin Gerber starting to get some battling going on. Austin had some early on bonks causing him to move back. Down 7 positions from where he qualified. Still trying to gain that ground back. I'm going to point this out, guys. Ligioso and Allenson have split up now. So Ligioso is 3 seconds ahead and catching up to Woolham's ahead. So first time you turn on PC in 2 weeks. You've been busy, dude. All right, Bennett and Chan going at it again. I feel like Chan has been playing defense the last 30 minutes, almost 40 minutes of this race. It has been wild for him ever since his pit stop. I feel like he has been trying to keep Chan at bay, or keep somebody at bay. Chan has been. Gerber and Martinez side by side. Down the back straight towards the chicane. Martinez is going to move back to the racing line. Gerber's not going to go for the overtake in through the chicane. Couple different battles going on at this point. Banning and Allenson again. Banning is still in the lead ahead of Nicholas Dwyer for that Pro-Am split. Eric Bennett catching up to Chan, using all the road that he can there. There's going to be a Mustang this weekend? A GT3? I know the GT4's had a couple. But is there going to be a GT3 Mustang? It'd be awesome. I thought about driving my Mustang, but I don't want to have to stop every 5 minutes on my drive out. Bennett still trying to keep that pressure on Chan ahead. Bennett now has a back marker, not a back marker, a lead marker. Mike Burkhoff behind. Side by side they go again through turn one. Christopher Chan being defensive. Chris very familiar with that inside line. 3 minutes left in the race. 2 more laps to go. Maybe 3 depending on what happens here. Now it's just going to be 2 laps. Bennett trying to get that better line. He's cutting all the way to the inside there. He might end up getting penalized for that. Who's that old Rari? That is Mike Burkhoff. We had a yellow flag from Sean Bramer just now, it looked like. I don't know what happened there. Gerber. Pressure in West Jones ahead. Bennett. Gaining that ground. Down the hill they go towards the hairpin. Side by side. Like I said, Chris has been very familiar with this line, able to hold on to it. Bennett, familiar with the outside line, is end up going wide multiple times. Up the hill through Schumacher S. Bennett wants all the points he can get. He needs to move up another position. He's got 1 more lap, I believe. Russell Harrell. Ooh, it's going to be close. It's going to be close, everybody. Coming around the start-finish line now. I believe we're going to have 1 final lap. This is going to be it. Nobody knows it, but this is final lap. Maybe. That's what it says. Like he also was catching up to Willems ahead. I wouldn't even be racing him. I would just stay behind him for the lap. And once again, looks like Chan was able to get away from Bennett, or rather Bennett got around Chan. We missed the overtake. All of that talking, we missed the overtake on Chan. Sorry, guys. I done screwed it up. So it looks like the battle for first place for all positions is clear. I think our podium drivers will stay where they're at. Will Figgins has moved up into 10th overall. Christopher Chan starting to fall off. Well, let's watch Ligioso and Willems. Willems always has some really cool liveries. I really like the artwork on his liveries. I'm actually going to do a quick... I don't remember if I've done it for his car, so I'm going to do it. We're going to look at Willems' livery. Galactic Ghost. But I kept saying I want to look at it, and I don't think I ever did. Look at all that dirt and grime from this 90-minute race. That's an awesome livery. We love Willems' liveries. I think he makes some of the coolest ones. With all of that said, the race is coming to an end now. 0 seconds. P1. Crossing the start-finish line. Russell Harrell will be your winner. Nick Kanya, 2 seconds in trail in second. Third place is yet to go into the chicane. Mike Burkhoff. I'll take a quick screenshot before I forget who the podium drivers are. Mike Burkhoff coming around the final corner now with some other drivers around him. In third. Fourth place is going to be James Casaboon. Running out of fuel, it sounded like. Somebody was lifting, it sounded like. I don't know what was going on. Fourth for James. Jake Willems coming around the final corner now. Has Ligioso behind him. Ligioso in 6th place overall. In 1st place for the AM split. Ligioso right behind. 1st place winner for the AM split. Allenson in 2nd. Banning 1st place for the Pro-Ams. Dwyer coming around the start-finish line. 2nd place for the Pro-Ams. Will Figgins in 10th after starting out in 1st and pitting early. Crossing in 10th for him. 11th for Shane Dodger. He's going to be 3rd place for the Pro-Am split. What a great finale, everybody. Martinez in 4th for the Pro-Ams. The weaving back and forth. Mike Cortez in 13th. I believe he is 3rd. I don't know if I messed this up. I think he's 3rd for the AM split. Casey Swanseger in the pits. He's already finished. Furnish crossing the start finish line. Lynn Jacobs crossing the start finish line in 28th. Most of the rest of the drivers have already finished. We are still seeing some drivers come across the line, doing a couple extra laps. What a race. What a race, everybody.
Green light, give it all you can.
That was awesome. That was amazing. There was a lot of bonks early on, but the racing at the end was awesome. I understand what you're saying there, Will. With all of that said, we are going to do some interviews. I want to pull in our pro drivers for their interviews. With that said, hello. Let me unmute. Hello, James. Hello, Nick. Hello, Russell.
Hello.
How are you guys doing this evening?
Pretty good.
Doing good.
So I want to talk to James really quick, being that he got in 4th. He's in here.
Yeah, I was waiting for what's his name to join Burkhoff because I wanted to ask him if he had an incident at the end, but
I'll have to see what happened. But James, you were doing a lot of battling mid-race rather, not mid-pack. We just saw you just battling every time that we looked around. It was you, Casey Swanseger, and a lot. I mean, Will ended up battling his way back up. But how was your race overall, coming in 4th at the end?
I had no issues with back markers other than one person, and that'll be discussed afterwards. But that was much better overall for back marker wise than the previous combined race. I will say that much.
Good.
Couple of incidents that were kind of hit or miss, but I mean it was good.
Awesome. Let's talk with Mike Burkhoff. Mike, hello.
Hey.
Mike, coming in 3rd. That a 90-minute race in 3rd. I know you're tired. You talked about being tired for the late night races, but 3rd overall, how are you feeling?
Awesome. That was a lot of fun, man. Thanks for the races. It was I didn't even have a setup for this car until today. I tried to work on something, and I made it work. And I am super sweaty, and I'm so really tired. So,
well, go take a shower and go to bed. You know, you're putting us all to shame with that old Ferrari. So, good
There's
job,
like
Mike.
no corner where you don't have to just constantly put input into it. It's just constant input. Anyway, but yeah, it was a good time. I heard so yeah, I didn't have any problem at the end. I just once I got once Nick passed me for a second, there was no more race, so I just wanted to be safe and just relax.
Just get around them. You were around some back markers that were battling pretty hard too at the end of the race, so you did have to deal with that.
No, I was just watching because the next place was like 20 seconds behind, so I was just watching the battle.
Yeah, they were doing good too, fairly safe. I think Christopher Chan was in the mix of that too. We watched them like the whole last bit of the race, so it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Nick Kanya, hello.
Hi.
Nick, you got into an early bonk, if I remember right, moving you back a couple positions. Am I right about that? You kind of went off track prior to the chicane or something?
Yeah, we'll have to look at that more. But unfortunately, that's how my race was, or my championship contention was kind of knocked out. But it's a lot of fun pushing back through the field, and almost got there.
Yeah, but I think you were battling Will Figgins for a position, if I remember right. But Will he finished in, I think, nearly last for the pro split. So what, 5th or 6th place overall for the pro split? So you might have a chance to move up in points. So we'll have to see how that goes.
Yeah, I was 2 back from Russell, so him beating me. I needed to finish in front of Russell to tie.
Okay, so tie for 3rd?
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Russell Harrell surprising us all by moving up from an AM split to a Pro-Am split to Pro split and then winning the final race. a 90-minute race.
Yes, sir.
How you feeling?
Good. It was a very eventful race. Me and Will had some really good racing at the beginning. And I was like pushed outside. I don't think like he did it intentionally or anything, but he came back across because I think he was expecting me to go on the inside, and he clipped me. That cost me a ton of time. I was pretty okay with just staying behind him the rest of the race and staying in front of Nick and taking second. But after he clipped me, I was sweating the entire rest of the race trying to stay ahead of Nick. So yeah, I mean, that was a full spin. I went into James too. He took a lot of damage from it. I had a lot of damage the whole race. I had about 10-15 seconds the whole race. But we made it work. I had a lot of back markers racing me, which was interesting.
Hey, man. They like to race.
They do like to race. They do indeed like to race. But even with all of that, we made it stick. I don't know what happened to Will. He definitely had the pace to beat me. But all I know is I came out of that sharp left-hander, and he was on the side of the track.
Well, you did a great job, especially finishing first. You're definitely in contention for staying in first next season. So I like to see how you do.
Yes, sir.
And yeah, keep up with it. I want to move on to Shane Subi Dodger. Shane, how are you?
Good. First off, I want to give a shout out to just like all of the staff and the streamers and everybody who puts the noob community together, all the drivers. It wouldn't be this big old thing if we didn't have 30-something drivers on the final race. And congrats to another season.
Yeah, we started out the race with 40-something drivers for a finale. I mean, that is nearly unheard of. You know, usually people for finales they don't stay that long. So I'm surprised we made it that far with that many drivers. I was expecting about 30. We were actually considering splitting the servers, so the pros and pro-ams have been in their own server. But luckily, we were able to stay combined this evening, and yeah, happy to put 40-something drivers on track. Let's see if we can get 50 drivers for the finale next season.
Absolutely.
All right, let's move on to Joe Allenson. Joe, my guy.
Hello.
You were in first for a while. A long while. And then the last couple of laps, something happened. Ligioso was like 2 seconds behind you. Something happened to cause you to be 2 seconds out. We unfortunately missed it on the stream. But can you tell us about what happened causing the overtake?
Well, for the last like 20-25 minutes, I was struggling so bad for grip. I was pushing way too hard on the second stint, so I had no grip. I lost it corner before the last chicane. I had no speed down the straight, and he had a great move around the outside on the final chicane. I just couldn't. I couldn't keep the speed to get into the chicane first.
Well, other than that, how was the rest of your race? Fighting in the top 10 as a AM driver, how does that feel?
It was fun. The first stint was really good. I preserved my tires quite nicely. I didn't want to fight anyone though, but everyone seemed to just kind of die around me, so I ended up like top 5.
Well, hopefully we see you guys in the Pro-Am split and Pro split soon. You, Ligioso, you're definitely not going to be in the AM split next season. I'm putting that out there right now. But overall, great job. I don't know where that's going to put you guys in points, so keep an eye on those. I would like to move on to Mike Cortez. Mr. Cortez, are you with us, or is your wife asleep?
She's definitely asleep.
Okay, so you got to talk quietly. I'm going to turn your volume up. Mike, coming in third overall for the AMs after having a fairly rough season and finishing in near the back or the middle of the pack nearly every race. How's it feel to finish a podium again?
So awesome. I can't. Man, everything's starting to finally go right. But I'm moving next week. So
Well,
I got to take my rig down again. And, you know, we'll see how that works after I put it back together and get back racing. But
Yeah.
it'll be in It'll be in a house a brand new house, and it's gonna be great. I love this, that I'm back to winning, or not winning, but podiums at least.
Well, hopefully you can continue it next season. Hopefully you're racing next season. You got what, 3 weeks or so before it starts back up. So.
Oh, it'll be moved by then. You can trust me on that.
All right. Well, go be quiet and keep your wife sleeping. All right.
I'm about to go to sleep myself.
All right. Does anybody else in here with us have anything they would like to say to the stream before we close it out? Not a word. Oh, Russell, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Just thank you guys. I've had a lot of fun. I really haven't been involved in sim racing as much as I have until I joined this community. And while ACC and the competition are fun, it's really just because I get to hang out with you guys. So thank you guys. This has been a lot of fun.
Hey, this community wouldn't be anything without you guys as drivers. So thank you guys for being here and continuing to race with Noobs R Us.
Yeah,
just to for streaming.
Yeah, just to echo what Russell said. I know myself personally, I only started sim racing a few months ago. If somebody's watching this stream and wants to get into it, what an awesome community. Being able to, I was just talking to Nico an hour before the race. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? And he's like, hey, you could do a couple things different. And just everybody's super awesome, super nice, willing to help. There's no toxicity or anything like that. So it's awesome community, great season. Looking for the next one.
Awesome. Nick, we got a couple more minutes before we gotta leave. Did you have something to say, Nick?
I just want to say thank you to you for streaming.
Hey, man.
And all this on, you and Andrew.
You're
the best.
I like to race, but streaming has become something I really like watching. So it's been fun watching the races and seeing how it goes and comparing the AM split to the pro-ams and the pros. So, and seeing how much safer the AMs can be. But
yeah.
With all that said, thank you guys for joining me in the booth tonight. I'm going to close out the stream by rating SRA, Sim Racing Alliance. So let's give them a raid. Go over there, say hi to them. If you guys don't race with them, go race with them. They're a great community as well. So thank you guys for being here, and have a wonderful evening.